Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Pacific Perspectives podcast. I'm Nux Memes. Mimamoto's here. Who cares? We have SabresAccess and then also Rory. Just Rory.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on this
Yeah.
podcast. I think it's our first ever four-person podcast.
Four
Um,
way.
Four-way podcast. Yeah.
all right, Xavier ruined it, so I'd like to thank you all for listening to this episode of Pacific Perspectives, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye.
See you guys.
It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah. Goodbye. Thank God.
Anyways, did we have anything we wanted to talk about before we get into our Olympic rosters here?
Okay, I'll go first. The Canucks traded Quinn Hughes 9 days ago, and since then they are 4-0, with every single game being a road game against pretty decent teams too. New Jersey, both New Yorks, and Boston. The Islanders had won, I think, their past 5 games at home before we beat them, and the Bruins had won 4 of their past 5 at home before we beat them. And I mean, the goalies have been goated. That's part of the thing. But the big thing is without Quinn Hughes, and the team has denied that Quinn Hughes leaving is a part of this. But without Quinn Hughes, they play way more like a team instead of just swinging him the rock every 5 seconds and letting him control the puck for 4 minutes. Like everybody actually gets to play their game now because they're not catering to Quinn Hughes. Which, I mean, when Quinn Hughes is on the ice, you're gonna get him the puck. And now that Quinn Hughes isn't on the ice, they get to play like a team, and it's been very fun. Really, it's been the goalies though that have been carrying us through this, and that's a Quinn Hughes there, Quinn Hughes not there kind of thing anyway. So I don't think it's all about Quinn Hughes being traded, but I definitely think there's something there. Uh, Demko's been insane. Demko's definitely going to be one of the 3 stars of the week because he gave up 2 goals in the 3 games that he played, and it was absurd. He got a shutout against the Rangers, which isn't that impressive because everybody is shutting out the Rangers on home ice. But it's been fun to watch, and Liam Ogren had no points in 18 games for Minnesota this year, and he got traded to Vancouver in that Quinn Hughes trade. Has 3 points in 4 games since, and got the shootout winner last night.
Unlock them.
So I don't know what the hell's happening there, but I really, really like it. It's finally fun to watch Canucks hockey again because we're actually winning games for once. This is now our longest win streak of the season. Our longest win streak of the season
Wow.
with Quinn Hughes was 3 games. Now we're already at 4 without him, and I've actually been enjoying turning on the Canucks games for this past week. We'll see how long it can last. I mean, they're so bad at home that like once we're off this road trip, it probably crashes and burns. Then we're 4-10-1 in Rogers Arena this year, but for now, it's been very fun to steamroll the Eastern Conference.
You know the Oilers have not won 3 games in a row this season?
It's embarrassing because we've done it twice.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I mean,
You know the Canucks. I said this in the group chat. The Canucks are tied for third in road wins this season, but they're still 4 points
What?
out of dead last. We have 11 road wins. That's tied for third.
that's
We're tied
insane.
with Colorado in road wins.
Oh my
And Colorado's
gosh.
first. Yeah, we're a crazy good road team, but then at home, for
Don't
some
look at the home
reason, we
record.
can't play.
Yeah, 11,
The
7,
home
and
record
2
is
at
10
away.
and 1. It's so stupid.
Crazy.
I don't understand how this could happen like this, and it's the same as last year too. Because last year we were over 500 on the road and very well under 500 at home. I don't know why we just hate Rogers Arena.
I mean, I understand. For the Canucks, it's no matter what level of mental fortitude you have, you're like one of arguably the best players in franchise history. Very obviously, very publicly wanting to leave and like is on the trade block. That definitely affects how you play. Like players are not immune to it. They don't log off social media permanently and never look at their phone. Don't look at any even if they do, people are talking around them, family members are like asking them about stuff. That stuff like hurts your play and it really hurts your motivation when you know that like if the Oilers knew McDavid was leaving at the deadline, like that would completely ruin their entire game. That goes for any team. So now that the Canucks have that, they're obviously not a good team. They're not going to go 4-0 forever, but just getting that little bit of a bump and like you said it's mostly been the goalies, but it's I mean it's nice to see they're not last. They're not the worst team in the league.
we are now above Winnipeg in the standings, and if you told me at the beginning of the year that the Canucks would be above Winnipeg in December, I'd be very, very happy. But looking at the standings right now, I don't know if I'm entirely
Yeah.
glad to
Only
see
4
where we
points
are.
out of the playoffs.
Yeah, and we have a game in hand on San Jose now because they lost to Seattle last night. So
Ain't nobody
I mean,
want
it's
that
very
second wild
doable.
card.
We could just get trampled by Colorado, but I feel that we played one really good game against Colorado earlier in the year. The other game was kind of a snooze fest, and I ended up painting during the entire third period. But I don't think we got trampled by them either time, and maybe they'll fall off. Maybe we can be the 2023 Panthers.
I mean, you're going up against the President's Trophy winners if you get that second wild card, so I think it's just inevitable whoever gets it is going to win.
Well, you never know.
That's going to happen.
We have Liam Ogren.
Really? No. I mean, you look at the second wild card, it's between San Jose, Utah, and then St. Louis, Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle, Winnipeg, Nashville, Chicago are all below 500. And they're all, I mean, Chicago is last there, and they're 5 points out of playoffs. Like, nobody wants it.
The West is so top heavy this year.
Nobody wants it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so central heavy,
Okay,
too.
that's all I had to say about the Canucks. Who wants to go next?
Mike, you had a Josh Stone piece I heard about.
I mean, I don't really need to talk about Josh Stone. He is the best hockey player in the entire league. Like, he does everything. And, yeah, I'm really just, I don't know what else there is to say. He's just the GOAT.
It's that simple.
But I didn't really want to talk about that specifically. I mean, this is the first time the Sabres have won like 5 games in a row in like forever. It's kind of like, I don't know. I'm excited to talk about the Sabres. Like, I know like 2 years ago they had like a pretty decent run. They just missed the playoffs, but like pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. I mean, yeah, like I don't even know what to say. Hold on.
It's nice to see that there's something to talk about with the Sabres besides the fact that they're like so horrible. Like they've got to change in the midst of like a good winning streak. I don't like to see a team be completely hopeless. So that's good, even if they don't make it.
Yeah, they're actually like being serious. Like they're making actual NHL hires, experienced people. I don't want to talk about how good the experienced people are. We don't really need to get into that, but I mean, they're legitimate people and not like a small front office of like non-experienced people. And I don't know, Terry's spending some money on the team, which is, I don't know what happened overnight, but
it's good to see they're getting rid of that internal cap.
Hopefully, I mean, we'll see what happens from here on out. I mean, these could just be regular hires, and they could still go their same ways and be cheap, but it's very encouraging that they're making legitimate hires.
Yeah.
Like, and people are actually going to work and live in the city of Buffalo. Because Jason Carmanos, who just got fired, he was running the Rochester team from Pittsburgh, which, I mean,
that feels wrong.
I don't know how I don't know how you evaluate people watching it on, like, I don't want to get into ranting about the Sabres because I'm in a good mood today, but
yeah,
there's more wrong with the Sabres than the average fan really realized, and it's just really encouraging that they're making legitimate hires. They're doing pretty well right now. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, they play New Jersey today, which with Jack Hughes back and Timo Meier, and I don't know. We'll probably lose today. Now I said we won 5 straight, and it'll probably go downhill. Like, but for the moment, I'm happy. Things are going good.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
And, yeah, Josh Norris is healthy. We'll enjoy it while it lasts.
That won't. God knows that won't last very long.
I had Josh Norris goal against Philly. Sorry, quickly. The one on Ayrton where he like the fake shot and then he like slid a 5-hole. That is one of the nastiest goals I've seen all season. That was so gross.
Yeah, that was a really nice goal. He's a really good player when he's healthy. Just we'll see how long it lasts. Maybe he'll finally stay healthy for a little bit.
As much as I like to make fun of the Sabres, there's really fewer. There's a short list of teams that I want to see succeed, and the Sabres are like one of those few teams that like I really, really want to see them do something. Like if they make the playoffs, that just would be so impactful. Like for me, it's like the Oilers, Pittsburgh, and I'm not a fan of the Sabres, but they're on the same level of like I want to see them do good just because oh my gosh, they're fans, man. Like how do you live with yourself, Mike? I don't
We don't need to
You
get
said
into
the
this
exact same
again.
thing last time.
I did. I
We don't need
did.
to get. And we did the recording after a Bills playoff loss last year. The next
Oh
morning,
yeah.
the next day, that Monday. What a disgrace! I don't know why I even got on and started talking with you guys. I should have expected that to happen, but I didn't, and you like totally shell shocked me for the rest of the episode. But yeah, no, they've won 5 straight, and things are good.
I
Things
wonder
are
if
good.
they've ever gone on a winning streak before and not made the playoffs. I wonder if that's ever happened.
They've had a 10-game winning streak a few times. They've had some.
Didn't they do that
That was Jeff
twice?
Skinner. They've done that a few times, and
Yeah.
then they've had a catastrophic December or whatever collapse, and next thing you know, that was literally last year. They lost 13 straight in December,
Yep.
and this year they're winning 5 straight in December. What a change a year can make.
I think if the Sabres were in the West, I think I would almost guarantee
They would have made the playoffs already. They would have made it like 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the East for you. But they're in it this year. Every team in the East is in it this year. So
It sucks that they've decided to be good, like enough this year to be a bubble team this year in a year where literally every single team in the East is a bubble team. Pretty sad. I hope they can pull it
That's
off
how
though.
it
I mean,
goes.
they got games in hand.
yeah, I mean every team's pretty close. So
Calgary would have made the playoffs last year if they were in the East and in 2023. And 2023 was especially funny because Calgary finished ahead of Florida in the standings, and Florida made the Cup final while Calgary missed playoffs.
Yep.
So if
Yep.
anyone has the opportunity to complain about conferences, it would definitely be Calgary. I think that they finished with 96 points last year, too.
Yep.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about Calgary.
Anyways.
It's because they got to farm points against those garbage teams like San Jose and Chicago in the West.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a bunch of
Free.
teams in the.
yeah,
I mean, you also have to look at the top half of the West. That's what everyone said. Like, it's free wins against the bottom teams in the West. But then you look at the top of the West. The top of the West is like insane.
Yeah,
Like,
that's always the top of the
It
East.
goes both ways. The East just sucks all around.
The East has
Well, right now,
had
the
like
East
the
sucks already.
Flyers
Everyone
and
in
the
the East sucks.
Devils and the Senators and the Sabres and the Blue Jackets for a long time there. Like now they're decent, but they were worse than the West at the bottom for probably a good few years there.
My phone slipped and hit me in the balls. Okay. I feel in my stomach. Okay, I'll be back. Xavier, talk about the Oilers.
Okay, well, Jack Roslovic just came back apparently, and they sent down Quinn Hudson, but he was so good. Quinn Hudson was better than like Adam Henrique, Monja. He was better than any player in the bottom six. I don't know why they'd send him down, and it's weird how the Condors seem to be for years they couldn't really develop any offensive talent, mostly because they didn't really have any just coming to the team, so you can't do much with that. But now they've got Isaac Howard like leading the league in rookie points per game. Quinn Hudson led the league in rookie points period before he got called up. Josh Szymanski is going insane down there. They've got Atro Lepinen. He's pretty old, but like they've got a lot of really good offensive players who can score. Maybe not the best defensively, but I liked what Quinn Hudson brought to the team. It's very clear to me that he's already an NHLer. He was already an NHLer last year when they played him against like San Jose and Nashville in April, but now I think it's like solidified. He scored his first goal against Boston. Chris Knobloch is getting him like 7 minutes a night, so that probably is why he got sent down. He doesn't have the trust of the coach compared to a guy like Kasperi Kapanen, who was he was playing 14 minutes a night in the playoffs and like playoff overtime against Panthers. You probably trust him more than a rookie who's 23 years old. I understand that, but I would have liked to see him stay up. Even a guy like Connor Clattenburg is so clearly more effective than what they have in the bottom six right now. I'm not really sure why, because Clattenburg shouldn't be a good player. But for some reason it just works. So we'll see what happens when everyone's healthy, but it looks like it's coming around. The Oilers have sneakily been a very injured team. They've missed Wallman, they've missed Rosovic, they missed Hyman, they missed Nugent Hopkins for about 15 games apiece. A lot of man games lost, but now I knock on wood, I hope they're coming back.
How many mid-injured players can you have on one team?
Okay. Nugent Hopkins and Hyman are on the Habs first line, buddy. So
They're not actually.
maybe not, but you know what I mean. They're good top 6 players. Like that they are meaningful to miss.
You just started talking about it. I figured I had to get it in.
Yeah, shut up, buddy.
I know what you mean.
The record.
Filipino.
The Oilers' record without Nugent Hopkins, and especially their power play record without Nugent Hopkins, is kind of eye-opening. They're 45% when Nugent Hopkins is on the team, on the power play, and they're 25 when he's not. So, is McDavid a Nugent Hopkins merchant? I might have to have that discussion. I don't know. Maybe he should come to the Olympics.
No!
Great segue.
not-
Wow.
All right, so Team Finland. What do we have going for Team Finland?
So Team Finland.
We're using ESPN's projected rosters. And
No.
we're just gonna
This
discuss-
is actually golden era or golden HCKY is his Instagram handle.
Oh, okay.
I know
Hello,
him.
Golden Era Hockey. We're gonna go into the 4 main teams in the tournament because the other ones kind of have a severe lack of NHL players, and it's very difficult to, make those rosters. And also, who cares? You're not winning gold. Plus, Czechia wins gold, which would be cool. Anyway, we're gonna start with Finland because we care the least about Finland. I'm gonna read out this roster real quick. People on YouTube can see it, but I'm gonna read it out for the people listening. We have Granlund, Aho, Rantanen first line, Lehkonen, Hintz, Tolvanen second line, Luostarinen, Lundell, Kakko third line, Michelli, Teravainen, Kapanen fourth line, and then Halla, Kotkaniemi extras. On defense, we have Heiskanen, Lindell, Mikkola, Ristolainen, Mata, Jokiharju, Vakanainen, Välimäki. And in goal, we have Jussi Saros, Kevin Lankinen, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Also, at this point, you've probably cut out the part where we credit who the original poster is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Golden Era Hockey, but hockey spelled HKY. We're just using his rosters as a baseline for this. So, looking at this roster, there's someone obviously that I'm noticing is missing, and that is the GOAT, Aatu Räty. I'm not kidding. Aatu Räty should be on this team because he really, really serves a purpose. And I think it's one that they don't have a whole lot of. Like, face-off wise, they're okay. Rupe Hintz is good at face-offs, but nobody's even close to as good as Aatu Räty on this team. He's at 60.1%, which I just found. He's 4th in the NHL so far this season. And the guys he's behind are Claude Giroux, Jonathan Taves, and John Tavares. Like, all these veteran guys who've been around forever. Aatu Räty is 23, and he's 4th in the league, which is incredible. I'm dick riding a little bit, but that, first of all, serves a purpose for this team. Second of all, defensively, he's solid. He holds his own for sure. Scoring-wise, he's better than Michelli and probably Kotkaniemi. But I think one of the biggest reasons why Aatu Räty would be good for this team is his physicality. Because you have Rantanen, and Rantanen's a physical guy, but looking at a lot of their forward group, it's not really the heaviest bodies ever. They're not really known for physicality, most of the other guys. Räty is very physical. He's a big guy. I mean, just last night he had 8 hits. So I think, really, there are so many reasons Aatu Räty should be on this roster. I think he serves so many purposes for this team, even if he's not a high-flying scorer like some of them are. And I particularly look at Erik Haula for this, because Haula is outscoring Aatu Räty this year. And Haula's a veteran, they definitely appreciate that experience. But let me pull up the chart comparison real quick.
Ooh, the chart. The
My
RPM chart.
My Evolving Hockey reloaded, so I have to get it again. Okay, so basically, what's happening there for people who are listening is that Aatu Räty's like just above average, basically, analytically, and Erik Haula is genuinely ECHL level. He's so
He's dog
bad.
water.
I think you can argue Atu Ratu over Michelli, Hala, Kakniemi, maybe even Oliver Kapanen, but I don't think you need to argue him over Oliver Kapanen. Not in terms of scoring or anything, but Ratu brings more intangibles than a lot of these guys do. Kako too. Like, I think Atu Ratu deserves to be on this team. I don't expect him to make it, but I think he should be there. What do you guys think?
I think they really need to be going. I had to say I agree with you. Bringing Ratu, they need to be younger here. Bringing guys like, and this is just one roster. I should say this isn't like what it's going to be. But I wouldn't be bringing Kotkaniemi. He kind of just doesn't move the needle in any direction. Same with Hala. I don't know what he could possibly bring that a guy like Atu Ratu can't bring. Personally, I want to look at bringing Yanni Neiman because of his scoring touch. I'd probably bring him instead of Matthias Michelli because that's kind of the role he's serving here. They have so many great defensive guys here, but not really a ton of scoring outside of Aho, Ranton, and Hintz. Maybe Tolvanen kind of serves that same kind of role as a Yanni Neiman, where he's got a solid shot, he's got solid play driving, and for once isn't like a great defensive player. But they're going to have to play a particular style, maybe lean into that defensive style, because you're not going to outscore a team like Canada or USA. But still, you want to have those threats for when the opportunities do come.
Yeah. Would you say you'd want like a Patrick Laine there in that case too? Not that I like.
If he's
I have
healthy.
another guy that I'm going to argue for a sec. Like if he's healthy, would you have Patrick Laine there? Because he is like
Yeah.
a polarizing player in the fact that he's been awful 5-on-5 forever.
I would absolutely have him on like the fourth line at least.
Yeah.
Like
Just
play on the
play
power
the
play.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into what Laine's timeline is. I just assumed he wasn't there because he's broken for a bit.
He is technically supposed to be back in like sometime like in late January-ish, I think. I don't know. It kind of depends. It's like I think like 3 to 4 months from mid-October, so he should be hypothetically back in time or just about in time.
I think you absolutely have to take Laine because you know he can bring scoring, and I mean maybe he just sucks, but also maybe he scores a goal every single game. I think it's for this team where they're like you're not bringing Matthias Michelli over Patrick Laine, surely.
No way.
I agree.
Yeah.
Matthias Michelli is just as bad, like controlling any sort of like play in that way.
Yeah.
His Laine can fire missiles on the power play. All Michelli does is pass the puck.
And I feel like the other guys at the forward lineup, and especially, well, I mean, who they have defensively is kind of the complete opposite of their forward lineup because none of them are good defensively besides that top pair, and probably Mikkola too, I'd say. But like you've got really, really awful defensive players in Ristolainen, Jokiharju, and Välimäki. Vakanainen, I'm actually not sure what his numbers look like, but I'm sure they're not stellar. But if you bring a guy like Patrick Laine, the other guys defensively on his forward line probably make up for a lot of the like terrible defense he has. And again, you need to have somebody that can score. Like they have who on here on this list has a elite shot? Rantanen and Tolvanen. That's it. And then if you brought Laine, he would be probably the third guy there. Now, he doesn't do a lot much else, but you need to have someone else, especially for when you get the power play, because even Finland, you're going to get a power play. And if you can capitalize on like 30-40% of your power plays, that's not going to happen. But if you can capitalize on 30-40% of your power plays, that's how you can actually win a game against Canada or USA.
I think I agree with that. You were talking about the defense. I'll give you a off the board name here. He's not in the NHL, but he's been a pretty big fixture of the Finnish, kind of hockey program for a while. But it's Mikko Lehtinen. He's usually on their team for world championships. He's one of, if not the best defenseman like in Europe. So, like, I think I'd take him over Yusuf Välimäki, especially considering that Yusuf Välimäki was in the AHL and he's coming off a torn ACL. I don't think he's back yet even. So. I can't say that I really watch Mikko Lehtinen play hockey all that much, but he did come to the NHL at one point. It didn't work out for him. He went back there. But this is a guy who plays for Finland a lot. This is a guy who I made a YouTube for the Nucks team's YouTube channel about the Finnish Olympic roster, and I didn't have him on there. And basically every single comment said Mikko Lehtinen should be here. He's, he's he's a big part of this program. So I do think like he might not even be in the starting six, but this is a guy who is a defenseman for Finland who is very valued within the group and within the kind of Finnish hockey organization. So I think it's not like you've got a bunch of superstar defensemen here. Like it's not like you have to have Rasmus Ristolainen here. It's not like you have to have Urho Vakanainen and Yusuf Välimäki here. If you've got a guy who's really valued like Mikko Lehtinen is and really trusted, and the Olympics isn't always just about who's the best NHL player. Let's get the best NHL players and put them in their positions. I think he can bring a bit of a different aspect in he's still a really good player, and he can kind of prove that there are really good players outside the NHL who can make an impact at the Olympics.
I think they forgot to add Nicholas Montempallo on the top pair.
Outside of the top pair, I feel like Montempallo could be better than any of these guys, besides Nico Mikkola.
I don't think so.
Besides Nico Mikkola.
Maybe Välimäki, yeah. I don't think. I definitely don't think I'd take Montempallo.
You know what though? Another guy I would add to that kind of outside the NHL for now range is, and I know this isn't Oilers homer talking, but Atro Leppinen was above a point per game in Finland last year.
I fully expected him to say Puljujärvi.
No. I mean, he's not. Puljujärvi hasn't been on the Oilers for 3 years, so that's obviously not happening. And Puljujärvi would be another guy that is good defensively, but has like no scoring touch at all. But I feel like Atro Leppinen or Mikko Lehtinen they move the needle potentially more so than Olli Mata or Jokiharju or Vakanainen. Like, you know what you're going to get with those guys. You know what you're going to get with Rasmus Ristolainen. You're going to get solid defensive play, maybe move the puck a little bit, but they're veteranos. They can move. They know what to do in the right place, but they don't make things that are going. They don't really do things that are going to win you games in clutch moments. I feel like you need more puck movers on this team. Like, seriously, outside of Heiskanen, there isn't anyone who's even at an average NHL level of puck moving on this team. You could argue Lindell, but I would argue against that. And it's tough.
It sounded like you were about to cry there.
Really? I'm really passionate about Atro Leppinen,
That's it. Who isn't?
Just a little.
Okay.
Wait, Finland's screwed.
Yeah. We talk all this, but Finland is they would be a miracle if they even meddled.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at this roster, and it's very defensively forward heavy. Like you said, a few decent players that could probably put the puck in the net, but like that defense core really is scary. And
it's so scary.
Man, I mean, you got Saros in that, but yeah, this is actually, the more I look at it, the more concerned I am for it. So they should probably play like shut down. Like, I don't even know what you do.
Maybe a 15-second elevated pitch for why Constantinius should be here.
I think you can make a pitch for any NHL this defense core, man.
While we're on Finland, Rory, I'd have to assume you did some digging on their coach.
Oh yeah. Antti Pennanen. The other thing that was in all of the comments was how much the Finnish hockey fans despise their coach. Let me quickly Google his name.
It was really funny. I was getting the notifications, obviously, and I just kept seeing people saying, if we had a different coach, we're winning gold.
I don't know why they hate him so much. Again, like, he was their coach of the Four Nations, too. I guess they don't like that he's pretty inexperienced from a coaching perspective. I guess, I really don't know. I guess part of it is that, like, when you are the head coach of, like, Finland or Sweden or, like, some of these European teams, you're the head coach for, like, all of their men's ice hockey programs. Like, it's not like Canada where it's like, oh, we're hiring or we're bringing John Cooper as our, Olympic coach. And then, obviously he's in the playoffs, so he's not going to coach the World Championships. He's not going to coach the Spangler Cup roster or whatever. Or the World Juniors is a completely different set of people. Like, internationally for these European countries, like, your job is to be the men's ice hockey head coach the entire year. So Pennanen is also the World Juniors coach. And Finland's World Juniors, like, end of the 2010s was really, really good. They won a good amount of gold medals. Obviously, I think that's highlighted by about two really strong teams. The 2019 one, which is led by Capo Caco, and what was it? The 2016 one that was Pugliarvi, Aho, that line that just was absolutely unreal. And as of late, they've really struggled. They've lost some round robin games to the teams that they shouldn't. They really haven't really gold medaled in a while. I know last year they actually got to overtime of the gold medal game, but again they lost that. So I do think Antti Pennanen is just really hated in Finland. I don't look. I'm not tuned in quite enough to know how valid they are, but there was not a single person who defended him. It's not like someone commented, Antti Pennanen sucks, I hate him, we have the worst coach ever. And there was like a comment thread that was, the video got like 15,000 views, so there was a lot of people looking. There was not a single person saying like, oh, it's not the coach's fault, like, the roster's just not good enough, or, we're just not up to snuff with the rest of them. Everyone was like, this coach sucks, we need a new coach. So
The Finns are united on this issue.
It's crazy. I've never seen a nation so united on one issue.
Crazy. Yeah. Interesting tidbit there. Thank you. Is that all good for Finland then? I feel like we talked so long about such a mid-hockey nation.
We talked too long about Finland. I mean, the roster speaks for itself.
I feel like Finland is so good because there's so many debatable points. Because looking at the bottom of their lineup, it's so ass.
That's true.
You could argue anyone.
Yeah, but the top of their lineup is still pretty good. Like Aho, Hintz, Rantanen. I like that. Their top pair, Iskinen, Lindell. Pretty solid. Yeah, decent top six.
Decent top six.
I don't know how
on the forward side.
They're really gonna miss Barkov though. It sucks that he got hurt, man.
Yeah, Barkov and then Aho down the middle would have made it a lot.
It would have made a big difference. It would have made a big difference.
And then Lundell is like the fourth center. Yeah, I mean that would have.
Imagine a Lewis Ryan, Lundell, Lehkonen, just pure shutdown line.
Not a lick of scoring going on either side. All right.
That's what they need.
Move on to Team Sweden.
All right. The first line is Philip Forsberg, Leo Carlsson, and William Nylander. Second line, Lucas Raymond, Elias Pettersson, and Adrian Kempe. Third line, Jesper Bratt, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Mika Zibanejad. Fourth line, William Eklund, Elias Lindholm, and for this sake, it's Gabriel Landeskog. Then the extras are Marcus Johansson and William Karlsson. On D, Victor Hedman, Rasmus Dahlin, Gustav Forsling, Eric Carlson, Matthias Ekholm, Jonas Brodin, Philip Broberg, Rasmus Andersson, and then in net is Philip Gustafsson, Jesper Wallstedt, and Linus Ullmark.
Wow. You know what? Looking at this roster, it's on paper, I know they've constantly, Team Sweden just has these issues of like they're constantly kind of underperforming, but just on paper, it feels like you can put this up against Team USA or Canada, and player for player, it doesn't feel like they're too far behind. I think on defense, maybe they're a little behind just in terms of both sides of the puck. You kind of have Erik Karlsson who's really good offensively, and then you have Brodin who's really good defensively, but the other side of the puck, they're not super strong. Same with Forsling and Ekholm. They're not like elite at both sides of the puck, at least not anymore for Ekholm. But I mean that top nine is so insanely good, especially if let's pretend that Eklund replaces Zibanejad there, even though we know the Swede coach is going to play Zibanejad on the top line. Like Forsberg, Karlsson, Nylander is so nasty. Like that is just as good as like anything that Canada or USA puts out there, I think. Like minus McDavid, of course. It's just, what do you guys think?
I think Zibanejad is like solid. He was solid at the Four Nations tournament.
He actually was.
Sucked. Like I have faith in him. I think when I'm looking at this, the thing that most intrigues me is the center depth of past Leo Carlsson, Elias Pettersson, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Elias Lindholm. Because I'm thinking like those are three very good defensive centers that could just be tasked with shutting down the centers on the other teams and could do a very good job of it if they just like ignore offense. I mean, obviously you're wanting offense from Jeek and Pettersson at some point, but they can really shut down. If they're playing at their best, they can really shut down some of the better players in the game. So I think that's interesting. And I do like the defense. I think they've got a lot going for them there. A lot of veteran experience, and then also Dahlin, who's one of the best in the game. And in goal, I mean, you got the same tandem that Minnesota has. That's been one of the best, if not the best tandem in the NHL so far this season. So I think it's a good team, and I think they're going to find some way to lose immediately.
Very Sweden. I love Leo Carlson. He's slowed down like a little bit. He's not up there with like McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini, whatever for scoring, but he's been a very good like two-way center this year. He's really kind of coming into his own of what he was at the draft, which is like this is a guy who can just dominate all over the ice. The puck just is glued to his stick. Like he's a puck protection monster. He's an elite playmaker. He's an elite scorer. He's a pretty big guy. Like he's kind of, if you ask a GM like what is your like ideal first line center, it kind of is just Leo Carlson. I absolutely adore him. One guy that is not on this list that I think I would add is Rickard Rakell. He's scored like 70 points last year with 35 goals. He was injured a bit this year, but he's still got like 10 points in 14 games, which is pretty decent. On Pittsburgh too. I know he does play with Crosby, but still, like he's a really good player who, again, he plays with Crosby, so he knows how to play with really good players. I don't even know if you have to like fit him into the lineup like right from the start. Like if you wanted, he could probably be your 13th forward, but I think he could easily fit, on the third line right wing, maybe with like Brad and Eriksson Ek, and be a little bit more, a two-way scorer type of guy. He's got a good shot. He can defend at a decent level. He's just a really good player, and I don't think it would be fair to leave him off this roster.
Yeah, totally true.
Yeah, I like Leo Carlson. He's a really good player. I'm also a big Leo Carlson fan, so I think it's a decent team. I think this is a decent team. I don't think it's as strong, obviously, as USA and Canada. And their goaltending might. I know the Wild goalies in the NHL right now are doing pretty good together, but it could be a little concerning with Allmark. I mean,
that's fair.
So put on Allmark.
In an ideal world, Linus Allmark never touches the ice.
Yeah, ideal world, Linus Allmark is just not in that. But I mean, there's a little concerning for me in the goaltending department there. But that's a pretty strong defense in front of them, so I think they'll be all right on that regard.
What are the odds that Gabe Landeskog just doesn't play in some of the games because everybody else on forward is better than him?
I'd say pretty high. I honestly think so.
Do you think he's going to be the captain? Do you think they give it to Hedman?
It was Hedman to the Four Nations last year. I don't know. That's a good question.
Because
they really like
Hedman. It's kind of hard
Hedman.
to stretch your captain, but like also, I don't know if Landeskog is better than.
That's tough.
I don't think Landeskog is a top 12 Swedish forward right now.
I do agree.
You know what? I don't know if you were going to talk about this, but I would probably be bringing Mattias Samuelsson.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I would bring him over Broberg. I would bring him over Broberg.
Maybe.
Mattias Samuelsson's American. I hope you know that.
Oh, not
true.
Mattias Samuelsson. Mattias Samuelsson?
Yeah, he's American.
He's American?
He played for the U.S. national team.
Shut up.
His dad is a Swedish player.
I was gonna say, does he have both? Does he have dual citizenship?
Okay.
Internationally,
Okay, well, his ass ain't making Team USA.
I'm safe.
Yeah, but
But still,
he still represents the U.S. internationally. He played for the national team development program.
Yeah, well, he could make a switch, but also, I think we good. I think Sweden's good.
I would personally play him over Ekholm because Team Sweden's not winning, and I don't want Ekholm to play any more hockey than he needs to. Need him to be rested.
All right.
And you a bitch.
Back to a real conversation. Xavier, you mentioned earlier that Erik Karlsson is not good on the defensive side of the puck, which is true. But if you remember, at the Four Nations last year, Erik Karlsson tried. And Erik Karlsson did not try in the NHL. Like, he does not care about playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I don't blame him. They suck and they want to suck. Honestly, it's probably better for the Pittsburgh Penguins if he doesn't try. But there were people coming out of that Four Nations tournament saying, like, Erik Karlsson was the best player in the tournament, or the best defenseman in the tournament at least. So, who's to say he's not going to do that in the Olympics? Like,
True.
What is stopping Erik Karlsson from being like a top 3 defenseman in the world other than himself? Like we know when he wants to be, he is still unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think Forsling Karlsson could be a perfect fit too.
Yeah, you could put Karlsson with Dahlin or Hedman too, for all I care. Like,
what made 2022-23 Erik Karlsson want to be good?
The ability to
Money.
get the hell out of San Jose.
Yeah, it didn't really help him though, did it?
No.
He's just in the new San Jose.
Sometimes you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Oh, a solid roster. Yeah. I don't know why Victor Olofsson is on this graphic, but
yeah,
whatever.
He has a good shot on the power play.
He does.
I really
You already have Adrian Kempe.
Yeah.
What did he do that Adrian Kempe?
He doesn't even make the second power play.
No.
I mean,
He doesn't even make the third power play.
you know what though? There are a lot of obviously the centers seem to all be like consistent Selke contenders. I don't know about Leo Carlson, maybe he will be, but from what I've seen of him, he actually is decent defensively. So even William Carlson, so they've got 5 very solid defensive centers all down the middle. That seems to be like who they're playing, and there's not much argument there. But on the wing, it all seems to be guys who are, I would actually say, bad defensively, besides Bratt. And even including Bratt, they're all kind of soft. I'm gonna say that word. They're soft. They don't press guys hard on the puck. Like a guy, perhaps, now hear me out, Emil Heineman. I thought he was Finnish.
Like Emil Heineman.
Yeah, I thought he was Finnish, but he's solid in all special teams for the Islanders. He's great 5v5 defensively, and now he's shooting the puck, and it's actually going in for him. I think I don't know why Marcus Johansson is here. He probably will actually end up going, but I think I would bring him over Marcus Johansson.
A good year.
Yeah, but
he's had like 27 points in 33 games.
But it's because he's getting opportunity in Minnesota
power.
he wouldn't be getting on Team Sweden. Whereas Emil Heineman, I think 5v5, he has actually gapped up and defended top players this year. And you can't say that really about any other Swedish winger, I think. That's mostly just the center's job. But I think Heineman could be an interesting kind of superlatives player inside of here.
I will say, on the video I made for Sweden, there were a couple comments saying like I would take Emil Heineman on this team. So I don't think you're totally not far off the mark with that. I don't know. Again, he's like statistically he's got 11 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna bring much from a playmaking perspective. Like he is just a north-south shooter. But Michael Grabner made a career doing that pretty well. Sometimes you just need. I don't think you're necessarily wrong. Sometimes you just need a guy that can, defend, forecheck, and shoot the puck. So that's a good argument.
True. All right, are we all done with Team Sweden?
Good.
Boring team. All right. Now we're getting into the juice. We're getting into the juice here.
All right. So for Team USA, we have Brady Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, Jake Guentzel, Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes, Jason Robertson, Dylan Larkin, Matt Boldy, Kyle Connor, Logan Cooley, Cole Caulfield, and then the 2 extras here are Tage Thompson and Clayton Keller. And then on defense, you have Quinn Hughes, Charlie McAvoy, Jacob Slavin. Is that Cole Hudson? Lane Hudson. Oh my God.
Hudson.
I'm thinking of Cole Hudson. Lane Hudson, not Cole Hudson. I don't know why I thought of that.
Quinn Hudson.
Zach Werenski. Quinn Hudson. Yeah, you got me thinking of all the brothers.
Lars Hudson.
Yeah. Lars Hudson, yeah. You got Zach Werenski, Adam Fox, Jake Sanderson, Brock Faber, and then goal you have Connor Hellebuyck, Dasher Demko, and for some reason, Spencer Knight. That's a little debatable, but...
Yeah, I think... I already forget the name of this Instagram page, but I think they lost their minds a little bit making the Team USA thing.
It's a little concerning.
Yeah.
There's some debatable selections here.
Logan Cooley is a 4th-line center. I don't know. There's a little debatableness going on here, but...
There are 3 Anaheim Ducks that could make this roster at forward, by the way.
Yeah.
I just want to put that
That's
out.
true.
Yeah. Not including Frank Vetrano.
No, definitely not including Frank Vetrano.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
One thing I do want to say with this roster construction, there is not a chance in the world they bring all 3 of Quinn Hughes, Lane Hudson, and Adam Fox. That's just redundant to have 3. Quinn Hughes is obviously more than just a power play guy. All 3 of them are more than just a power play guy, but 3 diminutive, offense first defensemen, they're not all gonna have a role. You can't put all 3 of those guys on the ice.
I don't see Lane Hudson making it.
No, I agree. I love Lane Hudson.
With how it's set up right now, with these pairings, each guy has an elite, top 10 defenseman, especially defensively, to pair with them. I still wouldn't bring Lane Hudson because I think Jake Sanderson is better for the time being, both sides of the puck, and I think I would be bringing him instead, just for that right. He doesn't play right, but I would find a way to fit him in. But Quinn Hughes, like that is by far, and I like Canada's defense group, but this is by far the best blue line. This is one of the best blue lines ever assembled at an international tournament.
I think
no matter who you bring,
had like Pronger, Niedermeyer, that level. Like they have all 3 of these guys, all 8 of these guys are top 20 defensemen in the league. You could probably say maybe 30 if you're not that high in favor. But like I don't know. And then there's still like you could bring John Carlson to this group, and he's still really good.
I would easily bring Carlson over Faber. That's my first point with this roster.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all.
I know that Faber had a good tournament. I do remember that, but like I don't like anything he does really offensively and defensively. There's just nothing that he does that Werenski, Slavin, or McAvoy don't do better. So why are you playing Brock Faber in those situations over him?
Hughes and Faber are building chem right now. That could be it's like a Devon Taves, Cale Makar thing.
That's a good point. That's actually a good point.
They so far have been good together. I'm sure they'll keep building the chem, and then in 2 months' time, I mean, that's not a bad idea to have as a pairing. And then the rest of your pairings are going to be insane because you already have Brock Faber out of the way, and he's going to be the worst defenseman on Team USA. I think he's a great defenseman. He's going to be the worst.
Yeah.
And you still have McAvoy and Fox for your other pairings. Like, I think Faber is definitely there.
For me, I don't know why the top pair is not Werenski McAvoy, because he's infinitely better. He's not a better player than Quinn Hughes, but he's infinitely better than Quinn Hughes defensively. And I think if you're going up against Canada, you're trying not to play a run and gun game. Even though the guys you have at forward are great, if you end up in that, you're just going to have McKinnon and McDavid kind of burning you other side of the ice. I don't like their chances in a run and gun goal for goal game, but defensively, I think they could probably surpass Canada. Like they absolutely have the ability to with this blue line.
I think the biggest difference between the round robin game, Canada USA last year at the Four Nations, and the gold medal game was the absence of Charlie McAvoy. Like having that top 4 last year of Werenski, McAvoy, and then Slavin Faber was just so good. Like they just suffocated you because they're all such good skaters that they can actually keep up with Canada's forwards, or they could keep up with Canada's forwards last year at least. Which I think is why we'll get to Canada, but I think it's why Canada's going to try and bring even more speed this year. But now you have that, and also, by the way, Quinn Hughes is likely going to be healthy and at the tournament. Like they're just so good defensively. Like honestly, you could keep that same and then just put Quinn Hughes and Jake Sanderson as your third pair, and you have 3 top pairs. You have 3 pairs that would be the best pair in the NHL, bar none.
Yep.
Other than maybe Taves Makar, but
I was gonna say it's really hard to mess up the defense core on Team USA because there's so many good defensemen. Like with Charlie McAvoy. I mean that and Quinn, like it's a really good defensive group that they could do many different things with that group, and it would still be you really can't mess that defensive group up.
Yeah,
it would be hard to.
I mean, we're arguing about like Lane Hudson or Brock Faber, right? Like that's so good.
Like the actors, Jake Sant. Like this is a good defensive group. There's some names that aren't even on here that. It's a good defensive group. It really is. So that's very promising.
I think they could use a Matthias Samuelsson.
Now they might be able to use a Matthias Samuelsson.
Looking at this lineup, I think it's funny because specifically the forwards. I think if you're looking at these forward lines, I think the best line is line 3, at least this season so far. Robertson, Larkin, Boldy. Robertson and Boldy are absolutely tearing it up right now. Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov have both played every game for Minnesota this year. Matt Boldy has more points, which is insane. And then, I mean, not to disrespect Larkin. Larkin's been having a good year. He's not quite at that level, but that third line, that's kind of scary to me. You know, that matching up against whatever Canada's third line is, that could absolutely dominate.
I think what holds them back here is their top guys, Matthews and Jack Hughes. So Jack Hughes, when he's healthy, has been good, but if you remember at Four Nations, he was like their worst player. He was like their worst forward.
I would not put him on the wing. I don't think he can play on the wing. I think it restricts what he can do. He needs to be all over the ice.
Yeah.
And him playing the wing, it just doesn't work. I don't know how you fix that because like I don't think you want Matthews or maybe you put
I got
Matthews
it.
on the wing.
I got the fix. You put Jack Hughes 3C, Dylan Larkin 4C, Tage Thompson right wing 2.
I could that definitely works. I think Tate Thompson has to be in the top 12.
He has to.
I would
He
not have him
has
as an
to.
extra. He's so good. We'll let the
Yeah,
Sabres talk about that.
I mean, Tage Thompson. What I've noticed with Tage Thompson specifically is, I don't know how you do it with this center core here, but he's a much better center, all-around player. It's really noticeable actually when he's at the center compared to the wing. So I don't know how they would make that work specifically. I mean, I guess he's good on the wing, but like I've noticed this year specifically, he's like a totally different player at center. Like I don't know why they can't just keep him at center full time, but that's another conversation. But he's a really good center.
I have
He's starting to
the fix.
put Matthews on the wing. I think the fix is Matthews.
That's what I was
Matthews
gonna
on the-
say.
That's what I was.
He
yeah,
sucks.
that's what I'm-
He sucks this year.
Maybe on the wing he doesn't have to skate as much. Like, I think his problem, it's a back injury, right? Like his problem
Yes.
last year was his back injury, and he
It's
doesn't
lingering.
skate as well. He doesn't shoot as hard. He's not skating as fast.
Yeah.
Maybe like you remember when Claude Giroux was really struggling in Philadelphia, and they revived his career by moving him to the wing. He could still take faceoffs and play the wing, but he doesn't have to cover quite as much ice. Like he can play a little bit of a different spot. Maybe that's what Matthews needs. Like, obviously, the Leafs are going to put him on the wing. That's dumb. But in the Olympics, when you have Jack Hughes and Tage Thompson, who are better at center, and then you've still got, Jack Eichel and Dylan Larkin as your other options, maybe you put Matthews on the wing. Canada's going to
Yeah.
put Sidney Crosby on the wing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not unheard of.
I think I would move Eichel to that first line. First of all, I think he would be a way better fit for the Kachucks just with how they play, and Eichel moves like that.
Fully
Matthews
agree.
doesn't really fit that. It doesn't make much sense to me. And then I'd have Jack Hughes as the 2C, and I'd put Matthews with Hughes and Gensel. I think that top 6. I love Canada's top 9, but like that USA top 9 would be the best in the tournament with that configuration. Assuming Matthews wakes up and doesn't have an insane lingering injury that actually affects him. I don't know if that's like completely accurate or if he's just not trying, but he's like actually been really bad for the Leafs.
Yeah.
One other thing.
Finally gonna deliver Canada a championship by sucking ass.
I don't think I'd have Logan Cooley here.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad player.
Yeah,
And one, hurt. I don't know if he's out for the tournament or not, but he's out for it.
I think he's supposed to be back early February, but still, like he's gonna be coming off an
That's
injury at
cutting
that
close.
point too.
Yeah.
And he's also not good enough anyway.
No,
he's
he
not
already
quite good.
probably should be.
2030 lock, Logan Cooley.
Yeah.
2026, no.
I want, like I said this earlier, but you could pick 3 Anaheim Ducks here: Kreider, Troy Terry, or Cutter Gauthier. I would pick Troy Terry. I think he's got the most international experience. I don't think he's got to play every game. Like, he's not. But he's a different player in terms of he's a little bit more secure with the puck. He doesn't have to be on the puck the whole time. I think I look here and there's a lot of guys who are gonna really like. These are all the best players on their respective teams up there, and so they're all gonna want the puck a lot. The nice part about Troy Terry is he's almost a point a game forward this year, and he doesn't really have the puck on his stick a lot. Like he plays with like a Leo Carlson or whatever, and a guy that just kind of controls the ice. Like you could put Troy Terry with Jack Hughes and have him play the same role as he does with Leo Carlson. I think having Troy Terry as like a utility forward that like if a line's not working, you can chuck Troy Terry on it and give it a different look, and maybe he'll get it going.
Yeah. I'd argue Chris Kreider for that point. They don't really have any experienced kind of net front guy besides the Kachucks, although Brady Kachuk not really. But they have no role players, like you said. It's just a bunch of the best players on the team. Whereas I feel like Canada has more options of guys who play throughout the lineup but are still also elite. USA, if you take like a guy like Chris Kreider, obviously he's your worst forward technically, but I think if you have him playing a certain role, he will thrive, especially in a short tournament. We've seen it before. I just like if your extras are like a Clayton Keller and like Logan Cooley, what purpose is that serving compared to a guy like Chris Kreider who can actually you can plug and play him anywhere, whereas Keller is going to bring the exact same thing that like Matt Boldy or Cole Caulfield is going to bring, right?
Yeah, I agree. That's
I
what
think-
I'm saying.
I think Team Sweden should hit up Cutter Gauthier and just like
Sure.
beg him. He was born there,
Fandangle something.
and they could put him with Leo Carlson. We know that works.
That would actually be fire, dude. I actually think Cutter Gauthier, like it's probably 2 years too early, but World Cup of Hockey 2028, considering that he's probably going to happen, he's probably there, right? Like he's just,
I think so.
He's the perfect bottom six international player because he can actually, like you were saying, the U.S. doesn't have like a Sam Reinhart or a Brandon Hagel or those type of guys that are like just like the absolute best role player in the league.
Yeah.
They don't quite have that the same way. Maybe Jake Gensel, but that's the closest they've got.
Yeah. But Cutter Gauthier could be that. That's really, besides Kachuk, I feel like that's the only guy they have kind of in this USA system that could potentially be a great kind of peripheral guy like that.
I think Ryan Leonard could get there one day too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I like Matt Boldy.
Fantasy purposes.
Also-
Yeah, but yeah, well, really, yeah, just that.
I'll
He's
shout out. Oh, go ahead. No. I want to cut you
Go ahead,
off. I was just going to shout Alex Tuck. I mean,
True.
this whole this-
That's
Yeah,
another
guy
option.
that could do that.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of forwards that I don't really know. Yeah, like, it's kind of hard. There's so much skill. I don't know how, like, role players they're going to bring. Like, yeah. I mean,
What are the odds they bring like Vincent Trocheck or Brock Nelson again to take a face
oh,
off?
no.
I would bring Trocheck. I
No.
would, especially if it's between
No,
him and
so-
Cooley.
I
Also-
don't think I'd bring either.
Not Brock Nelson.
Also, I know we're talking about Team USA, but for Team Sweden, I'm just praying that actually give Rasmus Dahlin some ice time,
Yeah.
especially in critical situations, because at the Four Nations, they just did not give him any.
Yeah.
It was very criminal, actually.
Yeah.
But you could go back to Team USA.
I mean that's for Dahlin. That's like his first like meaningful hockey like ever.
Yeah.
Give him the ice. Give him the ice. And he is their best defenseman.
Yeah, they were. There was too much Hedman. Like Hedman. Like they needed to give Rasmus Dahlin
Don't
a
even
lot more
bring
ice time.
Hedman anymore, man. Don't even bring him.
I know. I was watching Hedman on the ice during that, and I'm like, you have Rasmus Dahlin right here, like, and they weren't even giving him ice time. And it was just frustrating a little bit for me because I know how good Rasmus Dahlin is, and like, yeah, they should definitely give Rasmus Dahlin a lot more ice time, or they're just asking to lose. Honestly, like, it was just frustrating. But go
This
ahead.
isn't- This is an entirely moot point now, but I would bring JT Miller if he were healthy. I know he's not really that good anymore, but you look at this team and you look at how young it is. Like, they have two skaters over 30, I think. Miller wins faceoffs. He's physical. Maybe he'll care.
Maybe.
He's a leader. Maybe not a good leader, but he is a leader. And I think that is a guy who they could use as like a fourth line guy if he were healthy. I want to throw that in.
Yeah, he is another one of those top role player guys. I think he's
Yeah.
one of the only options they'd have.
Doesn't matter because he's broken.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
Canada?
Sure.
Starting at forward, we got a top line of Macklin Celebrini, Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner. Then we've got Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, and Sam Reinhart. And then a third line of Brendan Hagel, Nick Suzuki, and Braden Point. Sam Bennett, Wyatt Johnston, I almost said Ross Johnston. Wyatt Johnston and Seth Jarvis as your fourth line. And then Mark Scheifele and Connor Bedard as your extras. On defense, you've got Devon Taves, Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, Noah Dobson, Thomas Harley, and Mackenzie Weegar, Matthew Schaefer, and Evan Bouchard. At goalie, you've got Binnington, Thompson, and Blackwood. So, this is by far the most interesting Olympic roster. Not only because they have the top odds to win, but also because there's just so much that you could like move around here and you could argue, particularly when it comes to the goalies and the back end. So, what do you guys think?
There's just this projected roster is a little bit weird to me.
It
I
is.
don't know about
It's
it.
not going to look like
I
this
think
at all.
I have so many players to bring up. You guys know the main one I want to bring up. I'm gonna go last because I have so many players, and I want to give you guys the chance to bring them up
True.
first before I do.
I'm going to start on defense. So for starters, the way that it sounds like they're going to go is going to like they might not make a single change from the Four Nations defense because it sounds like they really like their Four Nations defense,
Why?
which is a little bit interesting. I think and like honestly, like what they had 7 names there, and like obviously you're going to need to replace Alex Petrangelo, who kind of was replaced, but so you're going to probably have one of like Schaefer or Bouchard there. I think from this roster, I don't think I take Noah Dobson or Mackenzie Weegar. I think they're too slow for this. Like, I just don't think they have the foot speed, and I don't think they bring like it's not like you could bring Evan Bouchard and say he's the second best power play defenseman in the league behind Kelmakar, or like they don't have quite that level of like a special trait, or it's like Matthew Schaefer where he's an elite skater and he's 18 and that. I think Shea Theodore has to be here, and I'm shocked whoever made this roster didn't put him there.
Yeah.
He's been like he's played so much for Vegas this year because without Petrangelo and with Noah Hannafin being pretty bad, like he's had to play big minutes, and he's done really well. I think we saw like look last night they got like he wasn't playing and neither was Zach Eichel, and they got blown up by Calgary. Like he is very important to that defense. He was good in the like 2 periods of play before he broke his wrist last year for Canada. He's a really good skater. He kind of fits the mold of what you'd want from an Olympic defenseman in terms of he can keep up with the top U.S. forwards, top Swedish forwards, whatever. And he's good enough for the puck that he's not gonna like just give it away every time it's on his stick. I think he's got to be there. I would not bring out Travis Sanheim. Drew Doughty, I think, is the interesting question. And I'm not going to say anything about Drew Doughty. I'm going to let someone else. I'm going to let Xavier go on Drew Doughty. Would you bring Drew Doughty under any circumstance?
No, I don't even think I would count him among the top 20, 25 defensemen in Canada right now. Like, I'd sooner bring... There are so many names you could name instead of Drew Doughty. And I made that post making fun of how Drew Doughty says, yeah, I'm not fazed by anything. That's why I should go. He has been consistently outplayed by Evan Bouchard in the playoffs every single year. In the year where they played Vegas, he got absolutely demolished by Braden McNabb. Like, that is who we're dealing with here. Absolutely. If it's 2015, Drew Doughty's probably your best defenseman, second best defenseman. Like, he used to be so good. And even a few years ago, he was elite defensively, and he was probably a top 10 defenseman very sneakily a few years ago. But it's completely fallen off the rails. He had major surgery. It makes absolutely no sense to bring him. And I'm not even completely ignore Evan Bouchard. You could bring Vince Dunn. You should bring Matthew Schaefer. You could bring Thomas Hart. I wouldn't, but you could bring Noah Dobson. Like, there are so many names you could bring as a right defenseman. I know Schaefer's left, but there's so many names you could bring over Doughty. He doesn't bring anything. He brings absolutely nothing besides veteran presence, which Evan Bouchard has played just as many playoff games as Drew Doughty. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And Bouchard has been... Okay, I'm just going off about Bouchard now, but he has been one of, I would argue, the best defensemen in the playoffs the last few years. And, like, that's what this is. This is playoffs. This is a very important game. It's not like those insane giveaways that Bouchard has. Or even a guy like Noah Dobson. It's not like those have come in the playoffs at like, super critical times. At least not, like, as commonly as it does in the regular season. So, I don't see the argument at all. He doesn't bring anything. And that's just one guy. We haven't even talked about Travis Sanheim, who I have no idea why they would ever even consider him. He sucked at Four Nations. It was so clear that they lacked puck moving from the back end to get it to these, like, 20 elite forwards that they have. Even bringing a guy who's super injured, like Thomas Harley, I would argue is just so much more valuable than Travis Sanheim for a slightly better defensive presence. An infinitely better puck moving level is just so much more valuable, even in a tournament like this, which isn't going to be super run and gun. Like, I could go on for hours. I don't know. It's bad.
We know.
It's bad.
I have 4 names to bring up. I will start on offense. I have 3 there. First of all, I'll start with Bo Horvat. If he's healthy
Absolutely.
at that point, I think Bo Horvat is the perfect guy for your 4th line. As I've said for some of these other people, he wins faceoffs. He's also just solid defensively and offensively. He brings you some of both. He's a veteran presence. He's a leader. Obviously, a good locker room guy. I think he's everything that you would want in a 4th liner for your Olympic team. I mean, he can get you that secondary scoring. He can match up against really anyone that you want him to. I feel like he would be the number 1 person that I would bring that isn't here. Then I see Scheifele on this list, and I think there's no reason besides health that I would want Mark Scheifele over Mark Stone. Because Stone has been absurd in the games he's played this season.
Yeah.
And he was on the Four Nations team. He's obviously a good two-way forward. Maybe not as much as he once was, but I think I would absolutely want Mark Stone here, even if just an extra forward to start with, if he's healthy. Again, health is the biggest thing there. Then Tom Wilson has to be brought up. He's basically point per game, I think, and the physicality that he brings is insane. That's a guy who I would rather, like, respectfully, I love Wyatt Johnston. I love Seth Jarvis. I would definitely rather have Tom Wilson there for those reasons. And then on defense, Jacob Chikrin is having... Sorry?
I just said, like Xavier and I talked about defense for like 10 minutes, and we didn't bring up Chikrin once.
True.
I know, I was waiting for you
He's
guys to bring
underrated
up
even
Chikrin.
by me. Yeah.
He's been one of the best defensemen in the league.
He's been the
this season.
second best Canadian defenseman this year.
And I'm looking at this, I'm seeing Noah Dobson and Mackenzie Weegar here. Like, Mackenzie Weegar... Oh, okay. The difference... I actually have to search this up right now. Because, obviously, we don't love plus-minus as a stat, but the difference between Mackenzie Weegar and Jacob Chikrin in plus-minus this season is actually fucking hilarious.
Is it over or under 50?
I'd say it's over.
It is under. Okay, it is 41. Which is like the... But Jacob Chikrin's a plus 22. Mackenzie Weegar's a minus 19. Like, and obviously the analytics to support that somewhat. Chikrin should definitely be there. I don't think Chikrin will make it, but he should definitely be there. There's so many things that you can contend with, and no matter what roster they come up with, people are going to be mad. But
yeah.
I would say you got to bring at least one. I think Mark Stone over Mark Scheifele. I would have Bo Horvat over Wyatt Johnston, and I would have Tom Wilson over Seth Jarvis. The rest of it,
well, we don't have to worry about Seth Jarvis anymore. That kid is...
No, they said he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay.
Really?
Friedman said it on Hockey Night in Canada last night. They don't think it's going to impact his optimism.
Wow.
It's not going to impact his Olympics.
Well, I still agree.
So those are the changes I would make there. On goal, that's exactly what I have. I think Bennington's been the worst goalie in the entire league this season. It's him or Allmark. But when he gets to the point where hockey matters, Bennington is a different beast. I think you still bring him, make Thompson the starter. If Thompson doesn't have it, revert to Bennington. There's also Darcy Kemper, and I think Kemper is just kind of the odd one out of the 4 main guys for Canada. You're obviously not bringing Montembeault because he sucks. You're not bringing Aiden Hill.
Stuart Skinner?
Sorry, what's up?
Stuart Skinner?
Sorry? What's up? Sorry?
Stuart Skinner?
I can't hear you.
Cutting out for anyone else?
I think you're muted a little bit. Sorry.
Do you guys ever hear this guy, Tristan Jarry?
What's up? Hey, does anyone hear Xavier right now? I can't hear him.
Okay, wait.
One more thing about Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
He's been elite defensively, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just another reason that he should be on it. I never thought I'd be riding for Tom Wilson to make Team Canada, but I am.
Can you imagine, like, the 4th line of Bennett, Horvat, Wilson would bring you everything that you need in a 4th line?
Perfect. That's so perfect. Canada is so lucky because basically all, I would say besides McDavid and McKinnon, who both have the ability, they, like, every forward here is elite defensively. Not counting Mark Scheifele because I wouldn't bring him. Maybe. Well, yeah, but I meant in the actual, like, the 12 they have. I would maybe count Bennett there just because of, like, his physical presence. But I left him off of my personal Canada roster because I'm not sure. Because they do have some... They have the NHL referees for the gold medal game. That was clarified to me. So maybe you would consider bringing Bennett. But, like, he teeters the line a little bit physically for international rules. It's not international ice. It's smaller than NHL, but
Yeah, it is.
if you're going to have like a Finnish referee in there, he's going like Bennett is cooked. He like you cannot dress Bennett for those games where there's international referees.
I think I'd take Marchand over Bennett, to be honest.
Probably, yeah. But
Yeah.
he's really
No,
bad
I
defensively
agree.
so far.
I
But
agree.
Whatever.
you gotta love physicality. I want to say, like, obviously, this doesn't really mean a whole lot, but while I'm seeing his name here, like, Brandon Hegel got off to such a slow start to this season, and he looked like ass, and it's like, oh my god, you gotta get this guy off Team Canada. And then since, like, the first 10 games or whatever, he's just been absurd. Like, his analytics are actually pants-dropping. It is.
And then Florida
He's
tried to
having
kill him
such
again.
He's having such a crazy season now after the tough start, but Braden Point still sucks. And Braden Point is already on the roster, which is really funny.
Yeah. He like does he go again if they make the roster choices and he wasn't guaranteed because he's already named to the 6 names that are like guaranteed to go. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think he's an extra forward.
Would he get? Yeah, exactly. He's an extra forward at this point. But one thing on the goalies, this is definitely a hot take, but I would probably be looking at taking Darcy Kemper instead of Mackenzie Blackwood. I originally on my roster I had Kemper over Logan Thompson, but Thompson's played so well that I don't think I can leave him off. And my reasoning for that is just the big game presence. Like I don't. It doesn't matter how bad Binnington has played. You are playing him in the gold medal game basically, unless like you're playing him in any important game you have, unless something absolutely terrible goes down against like Latvia in the semis or like in the prelim games. But Canada is an interesting one because there's so many wrong choices that they could make, particularly with that blue line. Like, they have the potential. They have 7 guys, like Jacob Chychrun, Evan Bouchard, Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, Thomas Harley. They have 7 guys that can contend with USA's 7 guys. They won't be as good defensively, and I think that kind of holds them back from being the best in this tournament. But they have potential 7 Canadian defensemen who can contend value-wise in the NHL with what USA has. But I can guarantee you beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're not going to take the right guys. They're going to end up taking Travis Sanheim, Drew Doughty, and Colton Parayko's good, but he wouldn't be in the top like 20 Canadian defensemen I have. And
I would take Parayko as the 8th defenseman maybe, because he's like, I don't subscribe to Dom Luszczyszyn's net rating like all the time, but he does have the highest net rating.
He's good
purely in terms of defense.
Yeah,
I think in terms of like a pure right shot, like pure shutdown guy, maybe you get to a point where he might be needed. But I didn't really like his game all that much for the Four Nations. I don't think he's good enough for the puck on his stick. But anyway, go on.
Even then, I'm not like, especially compared to a guy like Doughty or Sanheim, I'm absolutely not complaining about Colton Parayko. If you're going to bring a purely defensive guy, and I completely understand why they would do that, absolutely go for it. Bring Colton Parayko. But why are you taking Drew Doughty, who's not good defensively, and Travis Sanheim, who's like good defensively, but like on the net is kind of just a second pairing defense. It just makes no sense to me because the argument is they're good defensively, but like they're not. If you just watch them, there are better defensive. You could take Mackenzie Weegar, who is not having a good year, but has been way better defensively than Doughty or Sanheim, and he's probably 99% sure he's not going. Same with Jacob Chychrun. He's good defensively, but is one of the best offensively. I see no argument for either guy.
I don't think Mackenzie Weegar's that good defense. Just gonna put that up.
Not this year.
He was.
He blocked shots.
He was.
He's not anymore.
I think
he's not quick enough.
Another one that I want to bring up that obviously can't happen also would be Chris Tanev. I think he should have been on the Four Nations team.
Again, yeah. If you wanted to bring a pure defensive guy, Chris Tanev is better than like Drew Doughty.
Dead. Chris Tanev might never play an NHL game again.
That's why I said it can't happen, but I would have loved to see him there because I mean, look at what happened to Toronto's defense once he went out. They can't do anything anymore.
Yep.
He's a very valuable player. I think if you were to bring a right-handed shot defensive guy, then you are taking Chris Tanev over Weegar or Parayko.
Yeah.
But you can't because he's kind of glass.
Yep.
Another thing. This is more of a peripheral thing. I think, do we all agree that Connor Bedard should be an extra forward and in like if we need scoring or if they need scoring, like add him?
Yes.
And the other thing, who would you put Celebrini with?
On Celebrini on the line with McDavid, where he can be an extra energy guy. I kind of like that.
I think I'd have him
I
with
do too.
McDavid too.
But
I feel like I don't want to see one of Celebrini or Bedard in the lineup, but not the other. I feel like I want to see either both of them in the lineup or neither of them.
I don't want to see neither of them, so I'm going to choose both. The one other thing, at the Worlds last year, they had a Crosby, McKinnon, Celebrini line, and it was really good. Why not try it?
True. Yeah. I think I prefer Reinhardt with McDavid.
Okay. Hear me out. You send Braden Point to the press box where he belongs, and then you do Celebrini, McDavid, Bedard for vibes, and then you swing Marner down to Crosby, McKinnon, Marner, and then I don't know, Reinhardt can take point spot.
Against USA, that line would get owned. That line would get owned.
The top line, I think I agree. It would be so much fun. I would do that in against France, just for fun.
Yeah, easily.
Just let Celebrini and Bedard score a hat-trick each with McDavid. Let them have some fun.
Against France, I would probably be sitting all the top forwards, and I would just let Celebrini and Bedard do their thing. Like I'd sit McDavid and McKinnon.
I know it's Olympics and we want to win, but it would be so fun to watch Celebrini, McDavid, Bedard.
It would be.
Yeah. Maybe if they Chicago and San Jose aren't making the playoffs this year. Maybe if Edmonton gets upset in the first round, they can do that at the World Championships. Nobody really cares about the World Championships.
McDavid would never go to the World Championships again.
He already had. He did. He did back before they started being good.
Yeah, again. Well, he stopped that 1 year. I think he didn't go in 2019. I think he went in 2018 and didn't go in 2019, and that was the year that they missed the playoffs. And he basically said that he was kind of done. Like he missed the NHL playoffs so much that going to a World Championship kind of didn't excite him, I guess, which I understand.
It's a different time though. He's made the playoffs a lot, and this isn't if they miss the playoffs or whatever. I'm saying say first round they get upset by I don't know the Anaheim Ducks or something, and Kyle Dubas or whoever's running the World Championship squad comes up to McDavid and says, "Hey Connor, you want to go run around with Celebrini and Bedard and play a bit more hockey this year?" I don't think he has to say no. He's in he'd probably be pissed off because he wants to win a Stanley Cup, but it's not like he's in a spot where it's he got that one taste of the playoffs and he just is dying to get back to it. He's in a spot in his career where he knows his contract is up in a year.
Yeah.
In a year or in I guess
3 years.
2 years.
I watch him how he played in October and November of the regular season. He does not care. He now he is locked in and he looks as good as he's ever been, but he consistently has an issue of playing in the playoffs, and then when he comes back, it's not the same, and he has trouble motivating himself. But we'll see how it is. I definitely see your point there.
I don't know. Either way, this isn't about the World Championships.
A little tangent.
Does anyone remember that time when Team Canada had Crosby and McKinnon and everyone, and they got fucked anyway?
Yep.
Yeah, they lost
Does anyone remember that?
We do.
Does anyone remember that time when Team Canada had Tyler Myers and captained by Tyler Toffoli, and they were called the worst Team Canada ever, and then they won gold? Really
that team was sick. That team was sick. What was that? Nick Paul and Andrew Mangiapane? That team was sick. Dude, I love that team. That team is so fun.
So fun.
Yeah, they just need Tyler Myers back. Maybe Tyler Myers can make this team.
Good point.
Well,
the first ever Texan to play for Canada at the Olympics.
He's Canadian American. He represents.
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm just saying, it's kind of cool that he's from Texas.
You know, I might genuinely have Myers over Uyghur at this point in the season.
I might have him over Doughty. I might. Maybe.
I mean, if you're saying there are 20, 25 people ahead of Drew Doughty.
How many Canadian defensemen are in the NHL? Probably a lot.
Who else thinks Mike Matheson should make the team?
Over Drew Doughty. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. But
I would actually take Mike Matheson over Travis Sanheim too. I don't know if that's biased.
I would too. Yeah. I don't understand why they gravitated to Travis Sanheim.
I don't get it.
Does he secretly have insane defensive analytics or defensive ability? No. But he's never shown that in the playoffs. Again, that's why I don't understand. That's why I don't understand the the whining about bringing Evan Bouchard, and I don't think he gets brought, or if he does get brought, he'll be the 8th defenseman and he'll never get to play besides like France. He has consistently shown that he is great in the playoffs, which is like, that's what this is. You want guys who are great in the playoffs. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's not like Bouchard is an amazing regular season defenseman and then gets the playoffs and suddenly he makes all these mistakes and he isn't clutch. He has potentially, not even halfway through his career, the most active like clutch moments among NHL defensemen, like offensively. Am I wrong on that?
I'm not gonna check.
I zoned out as soon as you started talking. To be honest, we're kind of like an hour and a half through this, and at this point,
oh my gosh, we are. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we are. I don't know if we need to keep talking about Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, I think we're all good on that.
I like the Hagel and Suzuki combo. I just like that idea.
That's
I think
nice.
they're gonna be really good together.
I think we're all good then.
You guys want to go into Latvia real quick?
I was thinking about we could go into Italy. We were talking about this in the pre-show meeting. Like Damien Clara, Tommaso De Luca. Who else? Dave, you had some more. That you thought were really gonna bring the fire.
Nicolino Charla might make it.
Dude, he might. He might. You know what? I actually loved the idea of bringing people who are 3rd and 4th generation Italian, like Anthony Cirelli, like Frank Vetrano.
David really wants Tony DeAngelo
like,
to make
dude,
the Olympics
Tony
his favorite
DeAngelo.
player.
Like, they could have a solid like Switzerland level roster of NHLers and like almost NHLers. That'd just be so fire. Like kind of what China did, where they brought anyone who was even vaguely Chinese.
You said Anthony Cirelli. Anthony Cirelli is going to be on the Canada team. We know that, right?
Yeah,
Like Don
yeah.
Cooper.
Yeah.
He's bringing Anthony Cirelli.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I understand it. I think in terms of role players, he's one of the best guys they have. He just doesn't have the offensive skill that like Hagel or Suzuki or Point has.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of Italian names in the NHL right now. Surely Luca Del Belbaluz has.
Yeah, he
Italian
is.
music,
He
right?
is.
Oh yeah.
I would think. I was just thinking of anyone who has like Del in their name, like Del Gaizo.
Yeah, Del Gaizo, dude, that's
Sure,
the most
well.
Italian name I've ever heard.
Yeah. Okay, can we end this now, please?
Yeah.
All right, I think. Are you guys?
Mike can go watch
Yeah,
the Bills.
Stop the stream.
We'll free you.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Yeah, I don't need any more Evan Bouchard talk today.
Yeah,
I got my.
Goodbye, everyone.
Wait.
Permanently.
Yeah,
This is for good. This is the last episode.
Wait.
That's
Sweden
forever.
is taking Liam Ogren. I swear.
Well, I don't think that. I don't think that's gonna happen.
He's making a push.
I'm gonna go out on a
Maybe
limb
take
and
the
say Liam Ogren
very
is
lucky.
not making Team Sweden. Hear
He's
me out,
making
guys.
he's making it over Elias Pettersson.
Well, nothing would change.
How many points does Elias Pettersson have in the last 24 hours? How many points does Liam Ogren have in the last 24 hours?
Elias
True.
Pettersson happened the last 9 days.
I like that argument. Okay, say goodbye.
wow.
Maybe Pettersson will just still be broken. You know, the Canucks just don't report injury timelines. at
Nobody
all.
does.
Well, I mean, no. You hear like with some of them, like Logan Cooley is expected back early February, 8 weeks. We don't have like a week estimate. We never get a week estimate on the Canucks. It's just
Jack
this
Hughes
guy's
6 to 8. It's been 5, and he's back.
We can just lie. Like the Leafs. The Leafs have had like 5 guys this year that they're like, oh yeah, like they'll be back in a little bit, and then like they just never come back. Like Stolars and
Not even in Toronto.
we also don't even know what the injuries to the Canucks are. Like Filipino got injured in Game 6. I think it was a concussion because they just didn't say what it was.
Yeah.
upper
Yep.
body injury. Come on, clearly.
They don't even say that. Well, actually, no, they kind of say that. But like, is Pettersson gonna be back before the Olympics? I don't even know. I have no idea.
Guys, we'll end it on this. Anthony Baviglia has 6 shots in the first period.
Fantasy Demon.
Yeah.
Oh wait, shouldn't we go over all 10 World Junior teams before we go?
All right, so that'll
That's
be it for this edition of the Pacific Perspectives podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Say goodbye now.
I don't think we talked about Bouchard enough. Do you want to talk about Bouchard?
Everyone say thank you.
No.
Everyone say thank you, Rory.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone say thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on, no. Viewers
Well-
in the comments, tell me if you remember those garbage cans.
Oh my God, end the fucking podcast.
I actually wanted to know.
End
What you...
the podcast.
Okay. Tell me if you remember
Wow.
the garbage cans at McDonald's in the early and late 2000s that
What
said,
the fuck are we
Thank
talking
you.
about?
I thought he was gonna do a callback.
are we
to it.
talking
"On
about?
my life, those existed."
What are we talking about?
All right, bye guys.